Everybody, welcome into the show tonight. I'm Brian Keating. He's Elgin Rucker. It is time for Crashing the Boards. College football getting close, Elgin.
Getting really close. Fall camp coming up in, what, about a week?
But two weeks almost, or somewhere in that neighborhood. Yeah, we've got some NFL training camps to get to. We'll get into some of that.
It's football, man.
But college football is afoot. And so this is the time of year where the prognosticators come out and you kind of look at the seasons and look at the win totals. And so I thought this was interesting. Let's talk about this tonight.
Yeah.
Pop it up, and this is what the win total projections are for the Sooners and the Cowboys. And so, you know, that comes out, the smart folks out there in the desert. Elgin put out these numbers, and so, look, I want to go through some of these. I Texas there at 8. We won't get into that, but that seems like, who knows what Texas is going to be. I think Baylor clearly over that 7.5. I think Baylor's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
But let's start with Oklahoma.
Right.
And so let's really zero in on that 9.5 wins. And so obviously, you know, 10 wins is over and 9 wins is under. There's a lot of questions at Oklahoma. We just don't have any idea what they're going to be. So there you go, 9.5 wins. All the floor is yours.
Yeah, I would say, at least in my opinion, because you're asking me my opinion.
Sure, yeah.
Where are we at with Oklahoma? I'm going to go with over.
Yeah.
That's just the standard, right? I mean, 9 wins is decent for OU standards. The last time they didn't get to 9 wins was 2014.
9 wins is not very good for Oklahoma.
It's not at all. So I would say decent, slightly good, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
They got to 11 wins last year. I would call that pretty good, besides not winning the conference. So if you're somewhere in between that at 9.5 with the odds, what's going to be that difference maker that gets you to the over and not the under? For me, I think that's Dillon Gabriel. I'm very high on Dillon Gabriel. I think when you have elite quarterback play, and I'm not saying he is elite in this system because we haven't seen it, but we know what we have seen. It's impressive. At UCF, very impressive talent in the spring game. Obviously, you can't take too much from that, but we know for a fact that the guy can play, and they're all in on Dillon Gabriel, and so am I at this point. So I know there's more to winning football games than just your quarterback, but I think when you have one who has the track record that he has, you give yourself a good chance to at least make a one-game difference, and I think that's where we're at in terms of the over and under. So I'm going over.
Yeah, I think it's probably over. I don't feel great about it. I know there's people screaming at their TV, what do you mean that we're not going to win 10 games? I just don't know what they're going to be, right?
Yeah.
Brent Venables, I like Brent. He's a very good football coach. He's never been a head coach. Is he going to be unbelievable? Maybe. But we just don't. Same with Dillon Gabriel. I got OU at 10-2. And can you see that very well? There you go, 10-2. And so here's our schedule. The one thing that I do really, really like about Oklahoma is that 3 of their 4 biggest games are in Norman. And Kansas State at home, Baylor at home, Oklahoma State at home. I think the 2-1 you got to look at. You might not have a lot of respect for Nebraska these days. That's fine. I think that's a really difficult game. I think we're going to find out a lot about Oklahoma on September 17th in Lincoln, Nebraska, and then obviously, you know, whatever happens at the Cotton Bowl. But I like OU at 10-2 because I think their schedule really sets up for most of their most difficult games being at home, and then obviously the Texas is just a neutral site game. So I like OU to go over. Okay, cool. Oklahoma State, the number was 8.5. Cowboys were 13-1 last year, 12-1 last year. 12-2. 12-2.
Really
good. It's been a while.
They won a lot of games.
They won a lot of games. Cowboys were 12-2 last year. Fiesta Bowl champs, about that far short to win the Big 12 championship. Where do you have the Cowpokes?
I have them over as well. So a very optimistic day for me, but I think if you talk about what have you done for me lately, we've seen a pretty good product come out of this Oklahoma State team. And I just think, like I've said before, they're very motivated, right? I don't doubt teams that have as much bulletin board firepower as this team does. Okay, you talk about feeling disrespected. I don't know what they're talking about in that locker room. I'm not in it. But the Big 12 preseason poll comes out. Everybody says it's not that important. We're not looking at it. You're third, right, after the season you had before. That's something to talk about. You got the win-loss totals that we're looking at right now. 8.5, respectable, but OU still better. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where you can continue to motivate your team as this preseason, as we like to call it, continues to go on. And who do they have to worry about besides
Oklahoma?
Besides Oklahoma and Baylor, right? So that top 3, in my opinion, it's much closer than probably we've seen in a lot of years past at that top 3 with Baylor in that mix as well. And I think after that, I mean, you can make the argument for Texas.
Who knows?
But who knows? And then after that is everybody else. So if they win the games they're supposed to win, And let's just say they lose to Oklahoma and Baylor, still 10 wins. So I think we're talking about over. And I think they've shown that they can rack up wins because they did it just last season.
Yeah, I got them at 10-2 as well.
Yeah.
Again, they got some difficult games. You asked me which two are they going to lose. I don't know. But here's the thing for OSU and why I do have some pause about 10 wins, because 3 of their 4 toughest games are on the road.
Yeah.
And they've been a good road team. They're a better home team. Baylor on October 1st is the first Big 12 game. We're going to find out a lot about the Cowboys on that Saturday.
It's a huge game.
And then they got to go to Manhattan, Kansas. That will not be a picnic. That is a tough place to play, especially for them. They got to go to Norman, Oklahoma. The 2 games they got at home, Texas and Arizona State. And, we'll see what Texas is. I have no idea.
Yeah.
With Steve Sarkisian another year, I just don't know. I got them going over. Here's the thing is for OSU, you can talk all you want about Spencer Sanders and, he throws too many interceptions, and that's fine. He does. But that defensive line will travel. And I don't care what stadium they're playing in.
Yeah.
They're going to have one of the better defensive lines in the country, and certainly probably the best defensive line in the Big 12, maybe. And it will travel. And that defense, they have some questions, but the defensive line will travel. That will give them a chance every Saturday. There's no question about that. Pop this up. The other number that came up this week was the Heisman Trophy odds.
We're talking Heisman already?
Why not, man? It's what you do in July. You talk Heisman Trophy. So there's your Heisman Trophy favorites. Of course, you got to have the quarterbacks at Ohio State and Alabama. Caleb Williams from Oklahoma
Familiar
now
name.
with Lincoln Riley and the Trojans. But Dylan Gabriel down there has the 7th best odds at plus 3,000. So anything jump out at you, Elgin? Heisman Trophy odds as we sit here on July 24th?
Nothing technically jumps out because it's what I expect, right? You got quarterbacks at the top.
Yeah.
You got people in the middle, but Dylan Gabriel is right in that mix. And he hasn't played a down for the Sooners, but like I talked about before, his previous talent, the
8,000 yards and 70 touchdowns.
The cohesiveness with the offensive coordinator coming over as well. I think that puts him in a good position. And to be honest, it's quite on brand with this Oklahoma Sooners program. The history speaks for itself. If you play starting quarterback at Oklahoma, you've got a chance to win the Heisman. That's how it's been. You got back-to-back Heisman winners. We already know the names. You got a couple more before them. We know those names as well. I don't have to get into all of it, but we know for a fact that you have a shot. And Dylan Gabriel's a good quarterback.
No, I think he's good value. I think he's good value because he is a good player. OU's going to win a lot of football games. If they win the Big 12 and they have a chance to get in the college football playoff, he could be there at the end.
Yeah.
Here's my pick, and I'm going. It's not off the board. He was on the board, but this is the best. This is the best football player in college football.
Okay.
And if you're going to win the Heisman, Will Anderson, the linebacker from Alabama. If you're going to win the Heisman Trophy and you're going to be a defensive player, you got to come in with hype.
Yeah.
He was voted 5th last season.
It's going to be
and
hard.
so he's not coming out of nowhere. He's not coming out of nowhere. And if you're the best player for Alabama, who's going to win the SEC? They're going to win the national championship probably again too, or not again, but they're going to, they're going to be there.
Or the quarterback who already has a Heisman.
I get it. I get
Bryce Young.
Will Anderson is the best value on the board.
Sleeper.
Just tell me.